Really good question. By the way, you are such a good interviewer. All of your questions are solid questions.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I've done a few interviews, but your questions are just really unique.
I've had my fair share of like, is that a cell phone? And then I have to come back into my world.
And I always start my songwriting with lyrics.
Here I have over 200 people to feed almost solely, you know.
And show the graphic images of those children.
Mm-hmm.
God, yes!
That's exactly it.
Yes!
I feel like we've all had this experience.
Everyone's gonna get the picture or they're not. So everyone was really, really nice.
And I wanted to do something a bit more direct. And the first attempt at that was a game.
Susanna, do you want to do a documentary? And she's like, yes. I'm like, great, here you go.
Wow.
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are in the world. I'm Mark Sugiyama from Eclectic Arts Media based here in Seattle, Washington. And thank you so much for joining me on this Wednesday, the 26th of April, 2023. And I would like to thank Ariel Demira for joining me yesterday, which is kind of interesting for me to say that I've had 2 back-to-back live streams. She was a pleasure to talk to, really interesting, had a lot of great knowledge and just a really fun personality. So I really enjoyed talking with her. And for those that want to know, I do have another live stream coming up, which is scheduled for Monday, which is May 1st, at 4 p.m. Pacific. And if you'd like to know who that guest is, please follow me as Eclectic Arts Media on Instagram. That's where I post everything first in terms of what I have coming up. And that guest reveal, I don't have anything out about her yet, so that'll probably be, I guess, tomorrow or maybe Friday. And then, May, as I was talking to a couple of my guests pre-show, I've got so many things coming up that I have to kind of rearrange what I'm doing. So hopefully I have time to kind of do some of the live streams in the afternoon time like I am right now. But it's going to be a wait and see kind of situation because it's a good problem to have. Don't get me wrong. The media outlet's just like going crazy right now. But I also have a medical job that just started anew a couple of weeks ago. So I have to make sure that's everything and then figure out where the media stuff fits in as well. And speaking of which, this is the first time that I'm doing a fun table session in 2023. The last one I did was in December of 2022. And then that was the only one I did last year. I just could not, it wasn't for a lack of trying. I couldn't get people's schedules together. My own schedule was getting really crazy and blown up. And so prior to December of 2022, it was back in 2021 when I did, I think maybe about 18 of these. And so what these are, if you're new to this, is when guests that I've interviewed previously come back and we just have like a virtual hangout session. So during the pandemic is when these started. And so they were sometimes, and one of my guests may already know it, they went 2 hours, 3 hours. I think the record was over 4 hours. Today we were expecting to talk for about an hour. Here in Seattle, the sun is out, so you always want to take advantage of the sun when it's out here. And so we're not going to be doing the pandemic era fun table sessions probably anymore. It's going to be something that's much more compact. But I'm really excited that this got together and it's here in April. So hopefully I have some more this year. It just kind of depends on, again, people's schedules and how they go. If you're watching this on my YouTube channel, if you could do me a huge favor and subscribe and also hit the notification bell. If you're on the Twitch side of things, if you could follow me over there, I appreciate that. And if you happen to be joining me on Facebook, this is one of the few live streams I actually connected to Facebook. Thank you for joining me from there. And if you want to migrate over to YouTube and Twitch at some point, that would be great because I don't put most of these on my Facebook page anymore. And that's where we're at. So these are very loose. And again, if you want to ask any of the guests a question or comment, just put it into the YouTube chat or Facebook or Twitch, and then I'll incorporate that into the conversation. And so let's bring in each guest one by one for this fun table session. And let's see. We'll start with the newest person first. So this guest I had just done a recent one-on-one interview with back in March. So just last month. And was a real delight to talk to. Found out a lot about her background, specifically with voice and opera. So that was something that kind of sparked an idea in my head about somebody else that I wanted to see if they might be interested in coming together and doing one of these. And she did. So let's first bring in Annelise Harlan. I can press the buttons. Hello.
There you are. Hi, Mark. Thanks for having me back.
Yeah, I'm glad you can make it. How are things going so far?
Oh, super great. Super great. Like you said, here in Seattle, it's nice and sunny. It's good to enjoy.
Yeah, and you've got a nice background of like flowers and stuff. And...
Thank you. This is my spring decorations. Put these up just last week, beginning of April. Well, a couple weeks ago.
Perfect. Yeah, I even tried to get like a background picture of like flowers and spring stuff for this before the cameras actually started blocking it out anyway. But,
Of course, of course.
But yeah, again, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Awesome. And so let's see, the second guest I'd like to bring in, we just did a follow-up one-on-one interview in the end of November of 2022. And so she is a talented singer-songwriter, got a lot of other things in her background. At that time, she had just recently moved to the West Coast. And I know she's got a lot of things that have been going on, so I'd love to hear about that. So we're going to bring in Juliet Hawkins.
Hey.
Hey, Juliet, how are you?
Doing good. How are you guys doing?
Doing great.
So great.
Yeah, so good to have you back.
Yeah, glad to be here. Thanks for having me, Mark. It was crazy the last time we met. What did we say? It was 3 years prior? Or... It
was a long time because it was at least 2 years minimum. And I remember I guess I can tell this really quick. I don't know if you're still working with the same publicity gal, but you were trying to get a hold of her for some reason, and you texted me instead. And I remember seeing them like, do I reply back to this or what is this?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, wasn't I sassy too?
You're asking for like an electronic press kit or something that you wanted to send to somebody.
Oh, that's right. I was like, when is the EPK going to be done?
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't know. That was so funny, but that's when you're based out of the Nashville area when we did that one, the very first one, and then we did the one just recently, and then now here you are again. So and I can see you've got sun going on down in California. So
yeah, I'm down here in Long Beach.
Yeah, it's nice. So yeah, it's great to have you here.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to talk to you and Annelise and our other friend.
Okay, let's bring in our other friend, our savvy veteran of these fun table sessions, and actually in more ways than one, because she's also a member of our American military in the U.S. Army Band. And she has done so many different things in her background, and which she can speak to when she joins us. She's done, I think, maybe at least 5 of these sessions. She did the very, very first one we ever did in 2020 with her and Christiana Wu. And so she... is always a delight to have, got such a great personality and so many things in her background. And so I believe she's actually found time to do this because she's on leave right now because her schedule's so busy with all of her commitments. So I'm really appreciative of that fact. So let's bring in Nicole Bouffard. There she is. Hey, Nicole.
Hello, hi. Did you say it was the first one?
You did the very first one with me in 2020, yeah.
I knew it was like one of the first ones. I did not realize like the first one.
It was because Alice was doing a fundraiser, so I wasn't a part of that thing. It was somebody else's gig. And so I'm like, I might as well try doing my own live stream now. So let's try doing a fun table session. So yeah, it was supposed to be yourself, Christiana, and Anissa. And Anissa had something come up, so she couldn't do it. So it's just yourself, Christiana, and myself. Yeah. And like, I think it was like either August of 2020.
Yeah,
like
August. That. Yeah, I remember because that was the time that Alice did the live stream.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the whole virtual tour. So here you are, and I guess first and foremost, at least to Nicole, I believe congratulations are in order.
Oh, to me?
Yeah, you.
Because of that?
Yeah, because of that.
Thank you, Mark.
Yeah. So. Do you have? Is this the first part, or do you already have plans on when you're getting a wedding date and all that? Or
yeah, we're getting married June 11th this year, so it's gonna be fast.
That's my birthday.
Oh, it is. It's a great day. That's a
great day.
That's a great day to have a birthday too.
Yeah,
that's awesome. I'm looking forward to like anniversaries on that day because it's middle of summer. So how fun is that? You get a nice birthday. My birthday's in December, like at the very end. It's shit. It's absolute shit. So so I like that. Well, very cool. Happy soon to be birthday.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, and that's crazy because my birthday is June 16th.
Oh, nice.
Oh, so close.
Yeah. So we got a bunch of June related things happening and all that kind of thing.
Yeah. June's great.
So were you, were you together with your fiance for a long period of time, or?
Yeah, we've been together for 6 years. So we just kind of decided it was time. Yeah. And I was like, yes, it is. It is time. So, yeah, so the engagement's super short just because, we've been together for a while, and we also found a spot that was like, we have an opening on June 11th, and it's like a all-inclusive kind of elopement package. So it's gonna be like a small little ceremony and everything, but very low pressure and not a lot of work. So I was like, let's do it.
Sounds awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'll be good.
And so like I kind of mentioned during my informal intro, when I did Annelise's interview, and she talked about she had studied voice and studied opera, I was like, you came to mind for me.
That's awesome.
So can you kind of speak to your background in opera and what you have, and then Annelise can kind of chime in if she'd like to. And
yeah, I would love to hear your background. I have a master's degree in opera performance from Cal State Northridge. I sing for the U.S. Army Band. We sing all sorts of stuff, though. So we sing everything from, top 40 pop stuff to, opera duets, trios, and opera choruses and things like that. So obviously the skill set of training in classical was good, plus all the other stuff I did. But yeah, how about you?
Yeah, well, I've done theater and acting all my life. And then my voice teacher in high school said, why don't you try out for this program in Oklahoma? And I got my Bachelor's of Arts in Opera Performance at Oklahoma City University. And looking to do some opera competitions and some more theater stuff in the rest of this year.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, good. So you're still in the age range where you can do like the Met Council or anything like that? Like, okay.
Yes, I am.
Okay, good. You should do
I'm
it.
24 in June. So.
Oh, you're so young. You got so much time. Oh, that's good. Oh, yeah. I've been aged out of that for a while, but definitely do it because I only got to do it a couple times because of age.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Hit that up.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
And they give you a lot of good feedback. Well, I mean, good. It's feedback.
It's feedback, yeah.
So
any criticism is good criticism. We always love an opportunity to get better.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, the feedback I got was super interesting because years later now, like I feel at the time I did not understand it. And then now I'm like, oh, okay, I get that. So it sometimes it takes time to like get the feedback and understand what they were actually saying. And then other times it's like you're never going to understand because it's, everyone has. Sure.
I mean, I remember when I was still doing my schooling, a lot of my teachers would constantly sort of drill this idea in our head that like as performers and having a voice that we do, it's naturally going to mature and get better over time. So there's only so much that you can do now to perfect that skill set. You can work really hard at it. You can practice. You can do all those fun things. But like naturally, as we age, your voice is going to change. Your body's going to change. And as performers, we just have to kind of roll with those punches. So yeah, some things you won't even be able to have the dreams to accomplish until you're much later in your life or in your career.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's a great point.
I actually want to piggyback on that. I am teaching right now. I have like 6 students. I work with a virtual music school, and the best, my boss told me, is the best thing you can do for these kids is be a witness, provide them with a safe place to be vulnerable. Because if you're relaxed, your vocal cords will relax, your body will literally relax, and you'll be able to do the work that strengthens the right muscles. And there, of course, you can say like, yeah, drink water, don't smoke, don't party, all of the things that I've violated for years. But it's also like at a certain level, you can't teach soul. Either you have the ability to access that sound or you don't. Whether like, yes, you can preserve with drinking a ton of water and getting good sleep and not smoking, but it's like some of the struggle that I have with a teacher is that I want to remind these kids, like, it's okay to sing like you. You don't have to, unless you're going to, and in many cases in musicals or Broadway, you're altering your voice to fit a character. Or if you're doing sync work, you're altering your voice for a type of sound that they're going for. But these young girls that want to be vocalists, they want to be artists, I'm like, step into yourself as like, don't let people polish that out of you too much, because as you age, your experiences are reflected in your sound. I couldn't sing for shit when I was 21, not because I didn't have the voice, but because I didn't have the idea of soul. I had to lose my soul to find my sound. Like, I had to, you know what I mean? Like, I had to
I hear that. Yeah,
things.
yeah.
I think that the age in the sound is actually better, and depending on what you're going for, because it's like you can hear the emotion, you can feel it, doesn't, because it's not perfect, you can actually identify with it more. And I guess that's user dependent too, or situational, again, for what someone's looking for when they're listening.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Totally true.
And teaching those kids, you know, you not only are trying to get them to sing like themselves, but just being an advocate of saying, like, I had a lot of teachers when I was younger that were like, you know, we have big opera stars, we have big Broadway stars, they're already out there, they're doing their thing. I want to hear your take on this. I want to hear how you sound singing this song. That's the whole goal that we have when we train and when we sing. So it's awesome.
Yeah,
really
yeah, I feel that too. Because I wasn't a product of school and universities and Berkeley and conservatory and all of these people that I've had the honor of working with who have been that route. A lot of them have awesome chops, but again, it's like, if it's chops and technicalities you're going for, that is a time and a place, and that's for a great thing to have on your tool belt if you're a session musician, or if you're, you know, but if, like, I think that sometimes the school of life is also, like, can help.
that
totally.
passion is necessary.
Yeah, like remembering why you're doing it, because some of these kids, I want to be like, don't let other teachers. One of the girls has a teacher she told me about who's 25. This girl's 16. And her teacher's 25, and she thinks she doesn't like her. And I was like, why do you say that? And she's like, because she's really critical of my voice. And this girl can sing. And I'm like, hey, I got to let you in on a little secret, and this is going to be hard to understand at 16, but do your best. This girl's jealous of you. You're going to find teachers who are going to be haters. You're going to find guidance counselors who are going to tell kids you're never going to be anything. And sometimes those teachers are the reason that you become something, because you're like, thanks, watch me. But sometimes you fall short into feeling like I'm not good enough. And that's how a teacher ruins music for you, a kid, or ruins a subject.
There's a lot of people that are very bitter that go into teaching, especially in the opera world. And I mean, I can't tell you how many teachers have, you know, tried to discourage me from pursuing lots of things. And I don't know. I never understood. Well, I did understand why. It's because jealousy is a good way of putting it. Just they're bitter. You know, they're jaded.
They're bitter.
You know, they're bitter, and they just think, well, you know, like, you have this route, but you're definitely not going to have that route. Like, don't even think about that route.
Totally.
And,
and it's a projection of their own insecurity. And like, I think the younger, especially with social media present in so much of these younger girls' upbringings, I think it's important for like not older women, but like people who have grown up like in our age range, to remind these kids that, like, hey, you be you. Like, people, you know, sometimes the people we think are going to support us the most, like these teachers that are kind of throwing shade, are actually can be catalysts for us continuing to be strong. But to be reminded that, like, sometimes I was like, she's throwing shade because she also, yes, bitter and jaded, but she's like, there's more than one way to sing, you know, like, it doesn't have to be, we don't need any more Ariana Grandes. You know, like, originality and authenticity is what needs to be brought back to the forefront, I think, of art.
Ooh, I like it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. And education definitely puts a stamp on like that feeling like you can't go outside the box, you know, like, and it's a reason for education. You go into education to learn how to be in the box. I mean, that's what you're learning. But a lot of people, you know, get caught up in that box, and then they stay in that box forever. And then they try to put that box in other people. And it's the people that break out that succeed and use the tools that they learned in the box, because you do need to learn some of that.
Definitely.
Take it with you, and not stay within the confines of the crap.
Yeah. There's always those two routes. You have one of two teachers. The one that's jealous, that's going to tell you that, like, you're not really going to go places because they didn't, or you're going to have the teacher that says, I didn't get to, but you do.
That's true.
Yes, absolutely. It's the difference between someone who's authentically empowered and
Yes.
someone who's still living from fear or scarcity or like
Scarcity
to be able
mindset.
to, because I wasn't always teaching. This was a new experience. And I told my current boss with the school, I was like, I don't know if I really have those chops. Like, I don't know I don't know how to sing the perfect runs. Like, I don't, I can read music and I can write music. And she's like, yeah, but you have your refined set of skills as an artist, as a musician, that like, there's a everyone's looking for something different when it comes to music, and that like, that joy of that purity, that, to hold that as important too,
Oh yeah. And you're going to find students that need exactly that. So.
Yeah. I have a question for both of you. What got you into music and what keeps you there?
Great question.
I don't know what got me into music. I mean, I remember sitting in the backseat when I was very young of my parents' car, listening to the radio, just being like, please, God, I want to sound like the people on the radio. And I just remember this moment so clearly where I was just like, please, God. And I remember like trying to sing and my parents were like mocking me because they said I sounded like a strangling chicken. And then I just kept trying and I just kept trying. So I was like, please, God, I want to sound like, and
you
so,
always start somewhere,
and then one day, and I was doing theater, my parents were putting me in this theater and the director would like kind of chuckle. I come in there and probably sound really weird. I was in like 4th grade. And then one day I had a voice. One day I walked in, I sang a Beatles song for my audition. And it was just like, she's like, where did that come from? And I was like, I don't know. You just keep trying. I just kept trying until it happened.
Love and practice. Yeah.
Very young though, very young.
Yeah.
For me, I was about 5 years old when my parents put me in piano, and I played for like 8 or 9 years, and I really grew to hate it because it was a chore. And I would go to, even though this lady was really nice, and hopefully she's not watching, I hate it. I would fall asleep on her couch. She had the worst candy. I would fall asleep. She'd wake up over me and be like, "You ready for your lesson?" And I'd be like, "Oh, like I don't want to play Ode to Joy." Like but I did
piano
that
teachers
for, like,
are the worst.
It was terrible. I will
Most
say
definitely.
it was the best thing now that I can look back that my parents could ever put me in, because I can still read music. I can still sight read. My brain was like a mushy little clay pot before it was in the kiln then. So you pick up
every
these
kid
skills.
hates it, but it is a massive skill. I think everybody should be forced to do piano as a child because it'll take you leaps and bounds in the future.
Yeah, it's kind of like being a server or being a bartender. I think everyone should work a service industry job and everyone should take piano lessons.
Yep.
But yeah, so after that,
Two great philosophies.
I found my mom's guitar and fell in love with guitar and was like, I'm quitting piano. I'm going to be self-taught guitar. And didn't want to ever, I was like scared away from lessons and did the musical theater stuff in high school, but really found through like some darker choices and like some like paths off the path, found music was like a real outlet to heal for me from drug addiction and from depression and like kind of a nightmare of a few years there that I started writing. And then I found that's why I said you gotta kind of lose your soul to find it, because I couldn't sing. Like I didn't have things to sing about. I didn't have feelings then before, and something shifted in me that like allowed me to really use music as a channel, as as a way to heal and as a platform for other people to identify with. And it's just kind of stuck with me that way.
Yeah, I love that you say that music can heal. I've always found music as my go-to outlet for literally any emotion that I ever have. I'm angry, music. I'm sad, music. I'm happy, music. It's always there. It's always been there to catch me.
Totally.
And it's also a great way to explore new avenues. I found new communities, new artists, new genres just in the past, 6 years by exploring definitely like online spaces, places like Spotify that just throw new music at you. It's such great new experiences.
How did you find it? What got you into music?
Well, I was in a summer camp when I was like, 4 or 5, super, super young. And it was the only music thing that I did for many years. My parents really wanted me in sports, but I begged them to go to anything in music. Sat in the car, singing along to the radio, and doing all of that. And I just kept pushing my parents to put me in music summer camps. Finally, when I was around like 8 or 9, they stopped making me go to soccer, and they were like, "Okay, yeah, you can do musical theater summer camp if you want to." And I did that, and I haven't looked back.
That's awesome. I feel like part of my like bigger goal with music is to get to a place where I can either co-chair or co-open more centers for kids to be able to have that kind of stuff. Because if it wasn't for my parents putting me in dance class, in piano, like letting me get obsessed with the guitar, nurturing that for me, I don't know if I'd be alive, like so I think about that for other kids, that it's not in the school system, in the public school system, it's not a priority, and it should be. The arts are so nurturing for your, because I was, before you hopped on, Nicole, me and Annelise were talking about the theater, because I did that in high school a lot, in like summer stage, and that I found so much of my quirkiness and my confidence in my quirkiness around theater kids, because I was like, 12, 13 into 17, 18. And those are those tender years of like, you're trying to figure out who you are and get comfortable in your skin. And it's like so many hormones, but like the theater community tends to be so eccentric, and you're okay and I'm okay, and let's go be weird and hold hands and catch like.
I loved that. That was the best. I miss my theater days.
Me too. I wanted to come to theater here in Long Beach and be like, hey, where can I audition?
Right? Just do it. Just do it.
Just to hang out with the
jump in. Yeah, absolutely.
You should. You should. If I had time,
theater,
I would. Yeah.
So much fun.
So much fun. Totally. Miss that.
It's interesting that all of you are talking about like music, you're talking about teaching, and you're talking about things that are all in my background as well. And one thing that Juliet, that you definitely touched on, what I was a strong proponent of right out of college, I was in a public school system, not for music, but for special needs students. And talk about being the black sheep of that staff, because I did things very unorthodox. First day on the job, I brought in my guitar and I'm playing Metallica riffs and I'm doing a bunch of other things.
I love that.
And I was trying to find a different way to connect with my students. And then if I had an English class, I remember specifically I had one student that wanted to write something that was horror related. And he was expecting me to say no. And I'm like, no, go for it. Go ahead and do that topic. That's fine with me. I'm still going to critique it the same way that all the other topics that other students are doing. And this is a student that had a rap sheet a mile long, had been in trouble all the time. They figured that he probably wasn't going to last very long in my class, but I'm like, well, give me something. If this is what you want to do, go ahead and do it. Then we'll kind of work from there. And sure enough, I got shit from my admin for it, for letting him do that. Like,
oh, no.
Yeah. But I was like, this is a way for him to express himself. And this is a way for me to finally start taking that and then building from it. It's there, but you got to let me work it. He has to work a different way. But they want to put you, as Nicole said, they put you in a box constantly, especially in the public system. They're constantly trying to make you fit. And if you don't fit, you're out here somewhere. And
I was thinking about why my credit score sucks is because my GPA sucks. And why my GPA sucks is because we are obsessed in this like crumbling no offense, Mark, but patriarchal male-dominated world that's crumbling while the matriarchy shifts. And we're like, I'm observing these ridiculous number systems that have like kind of screwed me. My GPA sucked though, because my school was so focused on the it's public school, but it's because my sciences and my maths were bad.
Those test scores.
Yeah.
They'll get you.
That tiny ass town in Massachusetts with like a class of 60 that my vice principal was like, okay, you need to do something extra for your creative writing class. Cause I was like, please let me write you an essay or something. And and so I did a book of poetry, but that was skin of my teeth. Cause they're so like, if I had been put in a Montessori school or a school that was more focused on the arts or really what was my interests, like they need to shift that in public education, I think.
Student-centered. I would love to see more classes, more teachers, student-centered.
Individual, yeah.
Yeah. I was actually I just read an article the other day. They were comparing. You see a lot of comparisons of American education systems to European education systems, but almost all of the schools in Denmark are publicly funded. There are very few private schools, and there was actually a school. It was an elementary school, K through 6, that took a student survey on what they wanted their playground to look like. And everybody drew pictures, and everybody voted, and they took a whole year of finding out what the kids want, and they redid the playground in the student's image.
That's
and
awesome.
It was
That's
I
so cool.
thought that was so cool.
I love that. Yeah, because I feel like if we want we want these kids to save the world, Lord knows we need them, then we need to focus on making people from this jump feel like individuals, make people feel seen as individuals. And that I think starts with education, like early childhood development stuff around like, what do you like to do? And there's not enough people asking kids like that.
Yeah. Or like Mark said, when you have assignments, it's like, you want to have a very strict rule book. Like, what if some kid has some idea? Every teacher needs to be there to encourage that. Every teacher needs to see that spark that a student shows and fan the flames, please.
Yeah.
I know we probably all had experiences with teachers that said, no, you can't do that.
I was just
that shut you down.
Yeah, in 6th grade, I'll never forget Miss Black, Miley Black, at Brookwood School in Beverly Farms, Massachusetts.
Take note. Are we doxing? I'm down.
Oh, no, sorry. Well, no slander. These are just facts. But I'm wagging my finger at her because she actually called my parents about a poem that I wrote in 6th grade, accusing me of plagiarism, and I didn't even know what that meant. It was a whole big thing at this school and I'll never forget it. And I was like, how weird, and how
could you possibly?
So weird.
Yeah, I was like very confused. I remember.
Oh
no, Juliet.
Driving with my dad and him like explaining to me why it was wrong that they accused me, because I was just like, I don't know where that really came from. That wasn't meant to be a flex on how great of a poet I was in 6th grade.
No, but it's weird, super weird.
Yeah, I love that you write poetry. Writing poetry in your spare time is such a great, fun pastime.
I think so too.
All of us use different, I hope you all use multiple outlets of art. I know I do. I also write poetry. Nobody is ever going to read my poetry, but I still write it.
I kind of want to put out a book of poetry this year. I was telling Mark that at our last meeting, but one of my goals is because you can self-publish on Amazon for like next to nothing. And I'm like getting into painting and drawing and just removing. I think my 30s are the best thing that ever happened to me because I'm just removing all the judgment around like what it's supposed to look like and just being like, I'm doing it because I love it.
Nice.
And some people get there before their 30s, but like for me, it was like, I'm just realizing like, I don't have to be a painter. I can just paint and enjoy it. And so I want to have like mirror images of my poems with art in this, like, and you can do it on Amazon for like nothing. And I feel like we're supposed to, especially as women, supposed to put out our art, supposed to put out our message, supposed to sing, supposed to tell the story. Like we're witches,
Yeah.
In the best way.
Oh, I love that.
I love that.
That does go back to that education, how that can really help all the way from the youngest to the highest level of education. If you tell people they can be more than one thing. I had that block as well in high school. All of my teachers saying, no, you have to study science or math or business or music. You can't do all of it. We're human. We are so versatile in our brains and our abilities. You totally can do both or all of it.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm not a painter myself, but that's awesome that you are.
Thanks. It was it's like a new thing. It's funny that we opened the whole talking about it because I just started working for her like in the last month and a half. And she asked me if I wanted to work for her a couple years ago. And I was like, no, I don't have the time for that. I don't have the interest. And like, it's so cool to bring back. I have a keyboard. Like I play with these kids and if they have a keyboard or they have a guitar, like I'm using skills that I'm like, thank you for putting me in piano, Mom and Dad, even though I hated my life. Terrible Tootsie Rolls and the weird teacher and the smell of that house. And like, but I'm just like grateful that I can like transfer these skills and like, I don't know. Now it's nice
Absolutely.
to, it's a cool side gig.
It's
Yeah.
so relatable. Yeah, it is fun. Teaching's very fulfilling. I do find it very exhausting as well.
100%.
But yeah, it's very fulfilling. When it's done, you're like, I'm glad we did that.
Are you a Virgo or a Pisces?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I'm a Sagittarius.
Oh, okay. I was I don't know why I thought Virgo. You kind of reminded me of my old roommate, but I'm a Pisces, and I kind of feel that after a day of, even if it's just a few students and they're short lessons, I'm like, whoa, I'm exhausted, and it's energetically, it's such, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Sagittarius, when in December?
20th.
I'm March 20th. We're cousins.
Oh, weird. That's awesome. Yay for us. Yeah, we're not quite one thing, right?
No, we're never.
We're all the things.
Yeah.
All the things. Yeah, I'm a cusp Capricorn. I don't know what that means. I guess that means I'm also kind of bored. Like, I'm super interesting and super boring. I don't know.
I don't think that.
That might be accurate. I don't know. I'm in my interesting phase right now.
There you go.
Rising Taurus, Aries, Pisces. So it's like, I'm very sad and emotional, but I'll also burn it down and be like, fuck it.
Yeah. And grounded. Yeah, you've got some grounded in you. Yeah.
Trying, yeah.
Yeah.
It's that 33.
Yeah. Are you 33?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
I just
yeah,
just
30s
in
are
March.
great. Nice. 30s are great. 30s are great.
Yeah, I think
I'm about to
Jesus
be
here.
40.
You look awesome.
Oh, thank you. Maybe it's the lighting.
Well,
but yeah,
also 40s
I'm happy about 40. Yeah, I'm really excited about 40. I feel like it's the first time in my life where I really feel okay.
That's awesome.
I think as you get older, you get more okay, and you're like, all right, this is fine. This is great.
I have something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Thank God.
The bullshit just seems a little bit further away. Like, it's harder to engage in it the older you get, because you're just like, I can't.
Yeah.
When you're young, it's like everything matters. Everything
Your
matters.
40s are like officially stable and also like supercharged, and like you've made it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's interesting. Very interesting. My mom was like, "Well, at least you're getting married before 40." I was like, "Okay, thanks, Mom."
Oh, love toxic parents.
Love it. It's like, well, she's not wrong. You know, I'm kind of glad too. Right at the end of,
I don't think moms will ever change.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah, my mom is always like, when am I gonna have grandkids?
Yeah, oh, no.
Slow down there, mama.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
My dad likes to like annually remind me, it's okay if I want to bring home a woman. I'm like, I already have, Dad. Plenty of times.
Oh, that's so awkward.
It's so weird. Yeah. Well, he's 84
awkward.
too, so it's like, you know, he's in a whole different generation. He's tried to. My song "I'll Play Daddy." It was really hard for him to wrap his head around that. The music video was visceral for him, is how he described it. And to me, I'm like, Dad, I'm pushing the envelope. Madonna has done it. It's female empowerment, and he believes, he has 3 daughters. He's all about female empowerment, but it's, as an artist, it's hard for your dad to see or accept your sexuality, and it's also just weird for me to even be talking about it.
You're like, please stop.
It's also
stop. Yeah.
Yeah, it's different to see it in practice too. A lot of the older generations are like, yeah, absolutely, female empowerment, but like, stay at home.
Yeah, but they have a hard time really understanding what that means.
Applying it, right?
Yeah, applying it to real life. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They're trying. That's okay. I wonder what our issues will be like, as you know, as our generations get older.
Oh, I'm
like,
sure we have plenty. Yeah.
Oh, I wonder if I have them already. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, what are mine right now?
I look at these kids and I'm like, yeah, remember, do you know what it was like to actually follow through and make a plan on a landline and stick to it?
Yeah.
And not be wearing these, while these little girls are like twerking on TikTok, I was still climbing trees. I didn't shave my legs until like maybe freshman year in high school. You know what I mean? Like, I was a real kid. I used my brain and my imagination. These vanity numbers that these kids are obsessed with now, I'm like, you have no idea. The numbers I cared about was like, my friends, like my 2 friends that I rode bikes with, like I knew their house numbers by heart.
Or their phone numbers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep, I knew their phone numbers. Yeah, it's interesting the way that social media is definitely it has changed, and it will change this current and coming generations, and it's certainly not going away. So I'm really curious to see, you know, in what ways it will shape this new generation and what kind of nostalgia they will have. Because you know, the three of us, we're nostalgic for, you know, those times playing outside and playing with our friends, having landlines in the house, and that was ending.
Jellies. I was gonna buy some the other day. I was like, I need a photo shoot with jelly sandals. Like, this has to happen.
Oh my
I have
God,
a pair
yeah.
actually.
Do
I still have a
you?
pair.
Like when your leggings, your bike shorts would match your scrunchie with your oversized t-shirt.
Yeah.
And so
Oh my
like I'm like
gosh.
curious what they're gonna find nostalgic. They're like, remember the iPhone 4?
Yeah, like
Oh,
what is
yeah.
it?
Yeah, what is
Because
that?
even that kind of stuff, that outdoorsy stuff, that was ending when I was going into high school. That was when that whole shift of new social media was kind of changing.
It's sad. It's just not as romantic anymore. It's even like the
Right,
art
right.
online is like you
Yeah.
can buy art online that you can't even hang on your wall.
It's different, like it's a different kind of romanticism for sure.
Yeah.
And it's not as I wish it was more in person than it actually is, because we get to see and meet so many more new cool people on the internet, but there's studies have shown that just because you're on an internet community does not mean it gives you the same mental or physical stimulation of being with people or skills. Exactly.
Or personal skills, because I get onto like sometimes I'll look around and I'm like, really, like I was at a concert, I got to go to EDC and I was there. Also, I was tripping pretty hard, but I will say I'm like sitting there having acid tears, and I was like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. And I'm looking around at every single person with their phone like this, and I'm like,
recording.
Right.
What more people need psychedelics is they.
And you're like, I am in it right now. I'm fully in it.
Yeah,
oh,
man. So that ability to be present, I think, is a lost art and is one of the biggest like artifacts of nostalgia I'll have, because I think it defines like when you're able to have a conversation like this, when you're able to really be with people, and like that's for a world that's so buried in their phone. I do think the upside of it is that we're much more informed. People like these younger kids that are standing up for social justice are really spreading the word, and we're able to say, look what this police officer did that was messed up, and people reshare it, and they're like, we need to stand it, we need to fight for our rights. That like, there's a lot more of that accessibility. But I do think the even just natural conversations in the street, I see some people look at like they'll like look past me and look past themselves, and I'm like, no, I'm really talking to you. I'm not crazy. I'm just
So there is also another downside. There's not just that loss of human connection, but there's so much more like anxiety in the world because of it. So much more like depression, social anxiety, those kinds of mental blocks that people can develop. I definitely think social media plays a part in that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally. And I think being on the phone too. I think the screens are definitely interact with our bio somehow. I don't know what it is. I'm not a fucking scientist.
There's some science out there.
I could have been, yeah, somewhere in another lifetime. I could have been a scientist with my bio talk, but I'm pretty sure the bio lights of our chemistry, it does something. So it does. I think so.
I agree. I completely agree. It's like all the Black Mirror stuff. Have you guys seen that on Netflix?
Yes. Yeah.
That was a good
it's
show.
Trippy.
That kind of world.
Very
And
trippy.
it's like there are moments though, and I don't know if I'm just like maybe partied too hard, but I think I'm just kind of waking up like a lot of people are out there, that where I'll be outside. This is completely separate from social media, and I'll see something that I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, was that a glitch? Like, it feels like our universe on a global level is like expanding and opening up, and we're like, there's this shift in consciousness. I don't know, it's bizarre. Do you guys know what I mean?
Consciousness. There's definitely some glitches in the Matrix that I have observed myself. Absolutely.
You should check out, there's a Reddit forum, Glitch in the Matrix, that talks about people's experiences that are anomalous and just don't have any basis in our current reality. And I mean, some of it's probably bullshit, but if you go through it, it's pretty interesting. Glitch in the Matrix
it's
on
fascinating.
Reddit. Yeah.
Sometimes I think we're gonna die when we die. We wake up and we'll be like, oh my God, that was only 10 minutes.
Oh, that just gave me
was that a dream?
Yeah, so weird.
Can I pinch
So
myself
weird.
and I'll leave?
Yeah, and all the people that you thought died, that you were like, I wasted all that time being really sad, and you were literally just sitting next to me, sending me those. They're like, yeah, that 222 on that license plate was actually
That was
Me.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or that warm, fuzzy feeling that you got when you were sitting outside in the sun. That was hi. That was me.
Yeah, they're like, that mosquito you swatted away was actually me, Dick. I had to go back.
Like, I tried really hard to get your attention. I made myself a freaking mosquito. It's gonna bite your ass. Yeah, that's too funny. I don't know. Like, I have a kind of a contradictory point to technologies. I fucking love technology. Like, I wish I was a fucking cyborg. I'm so excited for like technology to take over. I fucking love it. My next tattoo is gonna be like a motherboard on my thigh. Like, I'm just like,
that'd be cool.
Hook me into this machine so I can beep beep boop boop for the rest of my life. Like, I just love it. I fucking love it. But I'm also a huge nerd and a gamer, and like, I love
that's cool. You were born in the right century. You want all of this, you know.
No, I was born in the. I want to be in
it.
the future. I want more future shit. Let the future begin. So
I respect that too. I'm like, here I am, like, give me a typewriter, and you're like, make me a robot.
Yeah, I'm like, full on implant me in there, baby. I'm ready for
my best friend's a gamer, so she gets down too.
Yeah,
it's cool.
But nature is also like, I don't know, I have a deep connection to that as well. So I'm going to get flowers with a motherboard. So it's going to be this whole like contradictory of like conscious revolution in the technical revolution is what it's going to be called. Yeah.
That's very like esoteric, I think. Am I using that right, Mark?
Sure. Yeah. It's art, right? I made that shit up.
That's very cool.
Yeah. I think both are important and they can evolve together. So
I would love to see more greenery and some of this more conscious people walking out in the cities. I definitely, living in downtown Seattle, this is my first time living in an inner city. And when I first got here, I looked up and I saw skyscrapers. I was like, whoa, that's really cool. But then I also go online and see all this art of like, you know, when they have like the greenery up the side of the walls, or they have like the rooftop is covered in trees or whatever, and it's just so like luscious and green, but you still have all this like modern technology. I'm like, I feel so desolate when I see like one tree sitting in the middle, and that's like all you get for like miles. It feels kind of sad. Yeah, it's almost more lonely living in a city than it is living in the country. Definitely, it is more lonely. I felt more lonely living up in DC, the DC area. I was so lonely up there, even though I had people around me all the time. If I move out to the country, I think the relationships are just closer. So yeah, you know, so you get more fulfilled by the people around you, I think. Yeah. And we are a part of nature as much as we are you know, living on this earth. We should be surrounded by a little more nature, I personally think.
Yeah,
especially those of us here in the city. Like, these are fake flowers. That makes me so sad.
What city? I guess, Juliet, you're in Long Beach.
That's cool.
I'm in DC. I'm in Maryland.
Oh wow, cool. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm on the other side. And Annelise, where are you at?
I'm in Seattle here.
Oh, you're in Seattle. That's right. Okay. Yeah. Wow, we're all over the place.
Are you from the East Coast originally, Nicole?
No, I actually lived in LA for 10 years before I moved out here. I lived in the Valley. I was in the Valley.
Nice. Where in the Valley?
Studio City.
Okay, I worked at Tuning Fork in Studio City.
Oh, I vaguely remember that.
Yeah, I was up there in Sun Valley for like 2 months, and yeah, and then I went back to Nashville. But I grew up most of my life on the East Coast.
You did in Massachusetts? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Do you like, which one do you prefer?
I mean, my mom was born actually in Seattle and grew up in Southern California. So I got love for the West Coast. I'm out here for a reason, but I'm proud of my East Coast roots. Yeah. Just because it made me really like, I had to like soften my edge a little bit, but it's helped me with my like work ethic and my hustle. And not to say that other people don't have that, but it's like, it gave me a grit and a little bit of a like, that only the strongest of friends and men and women can really handle that vibe. But
I will say, I miss the California vibe. When I first came out here, it was a hard transition being around all these East Coasters, because you're right, there's a it's a different
I'm definitely a lot happier of a person on the West Coast. My birth chart says I'm supposed to be out here, and I was born out here, so it's like but I think that I feel like there's something about the sense of humor and the food. And like, if you find the right people on the East Coast, that authenticity translates to loyalty, or that, that like asshole shit translates to they'll never lie to you. Like not all of them, but like a lot of the douchebags that I'm friends with from back East are just like misunderstood.
Right. No, I mean, absolutely. It's definitely, I'm so grateful for the experience of both now, and having both of those, like you said, both those types of integration of my personality. I feel more empowered now that I've lived out here and lived around this certain type of just work ethic and environment and
weather.
Weather.
That will build your character one winter out there.
I swear I write one good depression song a year in January, every fucking year.
You gotta stay sad if you want to make good art.
Every year around January, I'm like, oh, I guess it's time for my depression song.
Oh yeah, dude.
Because it just hits. It hits.
That is when the good stuff gets written, for sure.
Yeah.
I never understood seasonal depression until I experienced seasons. I grew up in Southern California in Santa Barbara. I was there for 18 years until I went to Oklahoma for college.
My parents and I lived in Santa Barbara for like another 10 years of my life. I went to San Marcos High School. Yeah.
So I went to San Marcos High School.
Okay, I have to admit, I only went there for like less than a year. It was like my final year of senior year.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
So I didn't go there.
Royals.
Yeah.
Wait, did you know, Nicole, do you know the Kirans? Dale, Kiran?
Kiran. Kiran?
Kiran. I don't know. Dale and Sophie, or Dale and, oh my God, Casey? Kiran?
I don't think I do.
Okay.
I don't think I do.
They would be in they're in their like late 30s.
Okay. And they went to Santa Barbara, or were in Santa Barbara.
Mm-hmm. Dale, Deyl, super hot, like mega babe, married now. Good for you, Paige. But, like, he was like older, and like me and my sisters used to be like, because our parents were friends, and we'd like play house, and I was the youngest, so I always had to be the dog.
What?
Yeah. I was a dog. Yeah.
You were the dog.
I'm the youngest as well. Yeah.
Oh my God.
So in my group of like 5 or 6 cousins when we get together and play house.
Like, I'd rather be like a prop, like I'll be a table or something, or like before the family dog.
That's so crazy. No, I don't know them. Yeah, that's too funny. That's so weird. We went to the same high school.
Yeah, what? It's a small world.
That is such a small world. Yeah.
Wow.
Before that was in Northern California. So yeah, I miss it. But like Juliet was saying, there's definitely a difference, and you can appreciate the culture of both when you live in both.
Absolutely. I can't stand East Coast people that hate on California that have never been. I'm like, you literally have no idea what you're missing. There is so much opportunity on the West Coast, and so much progression, and so much going on between, San Diego all the way up to the top.
Sunshine changes people.
Yeah. It's perspective, though. Not everyone gets an opportunity to get to see both, so we're lucky.
That's true. Yeah. I've never actually been to the East Coast. I've stopped off at JFK Airport and gone through on my way to Europe. I just like the vibes out here a little bit more than everything that I've heard from the East Coast. It does sound a little intense for me. As much as I love the grind, as much as I love to work, that seems like it's a lot. The hustle.
It's a hustle. Yeah. Although when I lived in LA, that was a real hustle, but it felt so different. It was a different kind of hustle.
Oh my God.
The LA hustles are different.
5 jobs.
Yes.
That's why I'm like, it's like literally Jill of every trade.
Yeah. Wow. I played birthday characters. I did a rock show assembly for kids. I did burlesque. I did modeling.
I did a carpentry in Glendale.
I taught driving.
He's like, you know how to use a nail gun, right? And I was like, Yeah, I've seen it
You're like,
before
pew,
on
pew?
movies.
How hard could it be?
Right? Like literally stagehanding anything. It's crazy. That's
awesome.
Yeah, that's wild
Yeah.
though. I'm glad you
That's
understand
stunning.
that. Like,
Oh, I
hustle of,
totally
like,
do. I mean, that's exactly what I said when I got my job at the Army Band. I was like, I would just love, when they did my interview, I was like, I would just love to not have 5 jobs. Like, I literally said that exact same thing. I was like, literally, I have 5 jobs.
Get me
I
out
love
of here.
it to be one, and one is my music. That would be amazing. Not
Oh
that
my
I didn't
gosh,
love
that-
some of the things. I really miss some of the things I was doing, though. Really
Yeah.
miss it.
I mean,
was the Army Band, did you like travel? Did you like go all kinds of places, or were you like stationed in a singular area?
We are stationed in DC, so I have a permanent duty station with the Premier Band in DC, and we're mostly
Oh,
Juliet, she's having trouble with her connection.
yeah, I think so too.
I'm primarily stationed in DC. We travel sometimes. Like, last week we were up in New York for the Pennsylvania Music Educator Association conference. So occasionally we'll travel, but it's generally not a lot, thankfully.
Okay. Yeah.
Although
Alright,
when
well,
you're
still,
young,
that's really cool.
it's nice to have the travel opportunities. So.
That's kind of what I was looking for. Yeah.
Yeah. Our field band travels like 3 to 4 months out of the year. Don't quote me on that, but they travel a lot.
So you're considered military personnel by being in the band?
I am. Yep. I'm in the Army.
Interesting. Okay. Very cool.
Yep. Yeah.
Nice.
But our job is music. So
Yes. Yeah.
although we do Army stuff like a PT test, and we're structured like the Army as far as like rank and like how things work, we do music, and we support the Military District of Washington for all their musical needs.
Cool. Very nice.
Yeah, it is. It's a great opportunity, actually. I'm not trying to like plug it. I love my job, but like if you ever want to consider it, it is a good opportunity. Oh, is my internet going now?
I hope not.
It was for a second.
You're back.
You're back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Another one bites the dust. Yeah. And another one down. I wonder if Juliet's going to come back.
We'll see.
Am I frozen?
As soon as I search up. No, you're fine. You're good. You're good.
Mm-hmm.
It was only like for a couple seconds. And as soon as she comes back, I'll pop her back in the room. We'll see. Maybe her.
We should all fake freeze when she comes back. And she'll be like, hello. We'll be like,
What's so bad about that is that would probably work because she'll be the first one to tell you she's not into technology. So
right.
She'll be like trying to figure out, what did I do?
Yeah. I don't know what happened to my email, Mark. That's so weird. I searched for it, and the only one that came up was the one you resent, even in my spam.
Wow, that's strange.
And that's not the first time I had an issue. Like I got a massage like a couple weeks ago, and she was sending me emails, and I was like, girl, I didn't get any of those. Like not in my spam.
Do you have more than one email?
No, I basically just use my old ass Yahoo account because I am gonna be 40, so I have a Yahoo account. So I don't know. Maybe Yahoo is like not giving me my. I don't know.
I don't know. That's weird. At least you have. That's also why I give people other ways to try to get a hold of me. And obviously, you got another way. So
I was like, Instagram, Facebook. Where's that link? What's going on? Did I get the wrong day? Because didn't I get a wrong day one time, or wrong time, or something?
The one-on-one on the Alice tour, you were an hour early.
That's right.
Yeah.
I was like, hello, I'm ready.
And I'm kind of like, yeah, I'll see you at 7.
Well, at least I was early. See, I trained well.
Have you heard the, I don't know if this is in other scenes, but it's definitely in theater, but being early is on time, being on time is late, and being late is disqualified?
I told that to my soldier just last month because she was coming in right on time, and I was like,
on time is late.
Late. Sorry, but you're late.
The standards we have for ourselves.
It's bad. That was not a conversation I wanted to have, but it was a conversation like,
yeah.
Unfortunately, in our jobs, we have to be extra particular about stuff. So,
Yeah, I thought it was funny. I just did a show with the Edmonds Driftwood Players. It's called the Spitfire Grill. And on our final weekend, so we have an hour showtime call before the show actually starts. So everybody is supposed to get there at 7. Most people show up at like 6:30 because you got to be early. It was my second to last show, and I was running really late because we had some car trouble. So I texted my stage manager. And I was like, hey, I'm really sorry, but I'm going to be a few minutes late. I'll be like, 7:10, 7:15, which is not really that late.
Right.
I was like, I'm so sorry. I'll get there as soon as I can. And he was being sarcastic, but they shot back to me. They were like, on closing, really? Late?
And then you're gonna put that bad energy on me right now?
Yeah.
Oh, like what?
I already got some bad juju with car trouble. Don't make it worse.
That sucks. That sucks so bad.
Yeah, yeah. You gotta do what you gotta do.
So are you in a show right now?
No. Still waiting to hear back from some people. I've been sending out videos and auditions and stuff.
Great.
The summer season hasn't fully started yet, so we're just waiting to hear back from some people. Like I said, I'm gonna go for some more competition like things this year, which I've never really done.
Yeah, good.
We're gonna give it a try.
That's awesome. Please do. Yeah, get out there. That's the best like advice I think anyone can give. Just do it. Do it all. Just do it. Who cares? Like, yeah, who cares? Just go do stuff. Go put yourself in front of people.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, like sometimes the audition room is my favorite part. You know, meeting all those new people. You kind of get to show off a little bit.
Right.
You have all that high stakes energy. It's really nice.
It's like your own performance.
Yeah, exactly.
It can be.
It's one of the things I miss most about being in school is being able to. We had weekly master classes with our studios, so we always had an opportunity to get up and sing and perform for just a small group of people that you're really close with that are all there to support you. And you sort of get those nervous jitters, those vibes out of you just by being able to put yourself on stage more often than you would normally get to by being in a show.
Right.
Yeah, that whole rehearsal process is nobody's there watching you. It's just you in the mirror and the rest of your cast, and you don't actually get that physical feedback until you have an audience in front of you.
And it solidifies it so much more. Like you can rehearse and rehearse and rehearse and rehearse, and then that first show, what? Like
all
what?
out the window.
Like
I don't know if it's a memory by now.
And then the second show gets better. I mean, the real rehearsals, the performance, like
it's so cool to see how shows like that will sort of change.
That's so true. Oh, I miss it. I miss acting. I will say, like acting and doing actual full shows. I miss that. I don't miss auditioning all the time. I don't miss the hustle. But I definitely
a struggle.
It's a struggle. It's a real struggle. But it's a trade-off too. I do one thing and I have to do it very well, and I don't get a lot of branching out of those few things that I do. So if I ever had time, I would probably try to do a community theater show for sure.
You should.
Yeah. Oh,
just to bring that energy back into your life, meet new people, have some fun times.
Yeah. Play a character. It'd be great.
Yeah. I used to put on shows just like in my living room, and for so long that was just not enough.
I like that. For friends or just like whoever invite people
just
over?
Me. I put my headphones on. I put a Broadway show on.
Oh yeah.
I could play all the characters. This is a one-woman show.
Learn the roles. Yeah. You're like, right? I know this role. I know this entire thing by heart. Yeah. Oh, I miss that. I miss it.
Well, ladies, it's been over an hour.
Okay. Oh, we missed our Juliet.
Yeah,
I know.
So she didn't come back into the room, so I don't know. I'll have to text her and see if hopefully it's just a connection issue, nothing else going on. But clearly, I got the right guests together.
You're good at
Thanks for doing this, Mark. This is fun.
Yeah, it is fun.
It was awesome that there's so many connections that I had zero idea about with the
same high school. I'm sorry, the same high school.
Wait, that's funny that in our interview, Mark, you thought of Nicole because I said opera, and then turns out we went to the same high school. God, what a small world.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's so weird.
Mm,
Like, how does that happen?
Crazy. Intuition, man.
Yeah.
That's strong power.
Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
cool.
I'm just glad it happens.
Yeah, it does happen. Very weird.
But both of you, thank you, obviously, for taking the time. And hopefully this becomes the first of many of these fun table sessions. And maybe you'll even end up coming back.
Yeah.
Because
Absolutely.
as Nicole, yeah, I think it was a lot of fun for me. And I love being a fly on the wall and just listening. I have zero ego when it comes to that kind of thing. So,
Yeah.
and the people that are watching now, they're starting to come into the chat. Thank you for watching and listening. And if you missed part of it, we had Juliet Hawkins with us, and I think her connection kind of went south on us. So she had to bounce out unexpectedly a few minutes ago. But yeah, Nicole and Annelise, thank you so much for taking the time. Everybody out there, thank you for watching as well. Have a great rest of your afternoon or evening, depending on where you're located. And and Nicole, if you could stay connected, I would love to talk to you offline real quick about something.
Okay.
And we'll kind of go from there. So thank you, everybody. First fun.
Yay! Nice to meet you, Annelise and Juliet.
Nice to meet you, Nicole. Yeah, and Juliet.
And Juliet.
To watch back this. Yeah.
Yes.
Take care, everybody.
All right. Bye. Thanks.